Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Are you looking for a condo to buy or rent? You may have to carefully weigh in your options. Real estate firm warns of a crisis in condo oversupply in Metro Manila with an increase as high as 34 months. How can people searching for a place to live navigate their way during this time? Helping us out with this discussion live in the studio is real estate investor Mr. Eric Manalo. It's a beautiful day, Eric. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day indeed, and it's great to be here together, all of you.
You know what? We were talking with Eric off air, and he mentioned that he loved waking up early in the morning. He's the second guest to tell us that, right? After Yayo Aguila the other day.
Pero yung ibang guest kasi natin, they're like, oh, it's so early. Kaya ng kape.
Yes. But so we have a 34 months oversupply, condo oversupply. That means it's going to take 34 months to sell the current supply. Can you tell us, Eric, what are the main causes of the condo oversupply here in the Philippines?
Well, based on my experience, I also have a company that manages residential condos in Makati. And for the past 20 years, I've been in real estate. I have sold more than 800 units, condo units from mid-range to high-end. And right now, we're managing these units for our unit owners based abroad. And it just so happens at this point in time, we are basically, you have to remember that real estate is basically, we're undergoing what you call a stages in the real estate cycle, where we, as we know, in universal terms, we have we first undergo what you call a recovery stage. After the recovery, we now undergo a expansion stage where people buy a lot of properties. And then from the expansion stage comes the hyper supply. I call it hyper, not oversupply. The global term is called hyper supply.
Okay.
Wherein the inventory of the developers versus the number of unit owners who wants to sell their property in the market happens to collide to each other at that hyper supply point. And then suddenly, after a few months, then it goes to a recession. But don't forget, after the recession comes another recovery stage. So it's really a cycle. So once you understand, once you have the right knowledge about real estate, and it's like gravity, when it goes down, it goes up. So basically, things will be okay over the next few years, because remember, we just recovered from the pandemic.
Right.
And of course, with the things that are happening right now, a lot of foreigners are going out because they're pulling out. Okay?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so it's, for me, in my opinion, and based on my experience, these things that are happening are only temporary, and it doesn't happen on a general scale, on a nationwide scale.
Yeah, you mentioned it's only temporary, but then we're also looking at how it could affect the current rates that are there. A lot of people have mentioned, and a lot of reports have been already published about the hyper supply, the fact that it could see affecting interest rates, could affect the prices of the condos themselves currently. Just how does this hyper supply affect the current market in terms of its rates?
Basically, the strategy here is that for a particular unit owner, which I advise to them, is that to have to be flexible and adjust to the current situation. Like, for example, if your unit is renting before pre-pandemic at 35,000 pesos per month for one bedroom, maybe you can adjust the price that the market can absorb. Okay, so from there, we will just wait for the right time until the market recovers once more, and then the demand to buy or to rent more properties or to buy properties at a good price would be achievable.
Okay.
Now, are there any signs when hypersupply happens, because you mentioned it's a cycle, are there any signs that investors can tell when it's going to happen again?
Investors are basically well aware that when there's a cycle, when things go down, they know it's going to go up. So what they do discreetly, they buy more properties during this period.
Okay, so now is the best time to buy. So
now it's now the best time.
To buy us condos to our viewers.
Even if you look at history, for the past 30 years in real estate, I have witnessed real estate for the past 30 years, even the time when the mega mall was still being constructed. So I saw a lot of ups and downs. One of the most challenging that we should be aware of is the bank rates.
Okay.
When the bank rates are still okay, and I'm proud to tell you that the bank rates are still at single digit, we're still, I can say that we're still good compared to other countries. Because if you remember, during the Asian financial crisis in 1997, where the interest rate really jumped from 18 to 20, more than 20% interest rate. So I can see we're still lucky at this point. And I agree on our, and based on my opinion, this is just a temporary setup, temporary situation that we will all recover and everything will be okay.
So, Sir Eric, you mentioned that this is the best time, mostly for investors, to invest in condo units since it is cheaper. But what are the risks, naman, in buying condos during the hypersupply period?
Yes, thank you for that. I get a lot of questions on that also from my investors. You always go back to the fundamentals of investing in real estate. And the fundamental means that you have to also consider the location. Aside from the location, you see also the growth of the development of the area.
Okay.
Will this be the next BGC, the next Makati, the next, like what's happening in Cavite and other parts outside Metro Manila?
Yeah.
And the infrastructure that the government is doing, all of this contribute to the factor of looking at what type of property that you should buy. You should go for me, in my opinion, you should go for a property of high value for investors.
Are there, right now, because of the hypersupply, is there anything that we can predict that the developers would start to adjust, especially with regard to yung mga pre-selling properties nila and of course their future developments?
Yes, for the pre-selling properties, developers are aware of this. So what they're doing is they're currently doing strategies on pricing their projects from payment terms to make it more affordable to the market. I would call this market absorption, where your projects can be absorbed by the market on a right price, not overpriced, but on just the right price.
Yeah. We're talking about the prices. We're talking a lot about the prices right now. Would you say it's more of a buyer's market at the moment, especially because of the fact that there is that oversupply, that hypersupply of condo units, and people have been pointing out that you go around BGC, the Makati areas in particular, that there are a lot of developments with unoccupied units to the point that they're bringing out percentages per building already with regard to the occupancy in those particular developments.
Well, what's happening right now is that those who bought properties way back then are still enjoying that benefit of increasing their value of their properties. The challenge now for the new buyers now is they have to buy a property that's within their budget so that they can absorb and pay the property until they completely pay the turnover balance, the bank loans. You see, the reason why some of them are challenging to rent out their condo or to sell, because currently the monthly bank loan payments that they have is sometimes kind of very high monthly. So, and if there's no tenant for the unit, they kind of find it hard to make things and make ends meet. So my advice to new buyers is that you buy a property that's not above your budget, something that you can afford. Something you have to adjust and then make some adjustments on your lifestyle and your spending so that once you pay out the property, it's absolutely cash flow. Because remember, a property like condo has two income factors. First is what you call the property value increase, regardless of the situation, they increase over the next 5 to 10 years. You can't buy another condo in Makati for 5 or 10 million 20 years from now. Definitely, right? So, and number two is the cash flow. Whether it's right now it's at 18,000 pesos versus 25,000 a few years ago, it's still cash flow for the Filipino buyer who bought the property.
Eric, can you tell us what signs should potential investors watch out for, to determine if the market is stabilizing or worsening?
It's the bank rates, one of them. The
bank rates.
One of them is the bank rates. The second is the market. The market right now is kind of volatile. They're now buying they're buying properties on they're diversifying their investments. Before they used to buy in Cebu only, but now they're buying outside Cebu, outside Davao, Metro Manila, Batangas, and other parts. So I see a trend in the next 5 years that more Filipinos are now more aware that owning a property, so that when there's another challenge or crisis that happens, they have a property that they can at least rent it out or they can sell at a higher price, rather than not buying at all a property.
Right.
Those are the individuals who will be at a disadvantage it's a higher risk if you don't have a property nowadays.
Now, Sir Eric, you mentioned that right now is the best time to invest. I keep saying that, right?
Kasi mag-invest ka na.
Because yes, I will be investing
Beautiful
soon.
day.
So for a buyer, for me, for example, so does the oversupply of condos or property, can I negotiate as a buyer, or do they normally keep it at the same price point?
Well, that's the advantage of some unit owners and some buyers right now. Because of this situation, there are unit owners who wants to sell their property kind of rush.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sale.
Yes.
So they tend to compromise and agree on with the buyer and negotiate on a term, on a special price, so that it's going to be a win-win situation. It's not too high, not too low. So based on the deals that I've closed recently,
Yeah.
I just closed three sales last week,
Congratulations.
all cash basis.
Wow.
So of course there's negotiation here. If this is the current price, can we make it? If it's like a 5 million, can we make it like 4.5? So there's a compromise, happy compromise between the buyer and the seller.
So win-win
Yeah.
situation. Eric, there are a lot of things that I'm assuming do affect the market, do affect the rates, whether it's the rent for the cash flow, whether it becomes the value of the property. I just wanted to ask about external factors that may be a part of it. Some people are looking at the POGO ban in particular because of the fact that all of a sudden there is an increase of number of condos. Is that really affecting the market, in your opinion, with regard to the rent prices in particular? Because that is something that I feel for a lot of owners, or at least a lot of owners of units, actually did use for a lot of cash flow to actually raise rent prices in the past.
Yeah. So again, well, when the POGO came to the Philippines, it's basically not long ago. It's not even 10 years. So before that, the real estate was doing fine. It's because a lot of Filipinos out there, like there's a new market segment that's happening right now. The 12 million Filipinos overseas are now, some of them are like me, my age, are now retiring. And they're coming back now, slowly but surely, and they're buying properties for a vacation. And one of them is a condo unit, because they already have a house somewhere in the province, and they want to have a condo in Manila. So that when they come home, they have a place to stay for a vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ginagawa na ng bakasyon yung Manila.
Yes. 6 months, 6 months in Canada, 6 months in Manila. This is what I've been doing for the past 6 months. And you can see the travel that's going on right now.
Yeah.
The tourism is improving. So many things are happening. The hotel industry is also booming now. So all of these things are temporary. Everything will be all right. It's going to be a beautiful day for the Philippines.
I love it.
So condos are still a good investment.
Yes.
Especially now that we're talking about this situation and investing in properties. Do you think that condos are still a good and practical investment for Filipinos?
What I can say is, based on my experience, a lot of millennials right now, as young as you are buying condos right now in the Philippines, in Manila. It's because they want to have their own space, their own private space aside from their parents' house. And some of them are in the digital era now. They use the condos. Like in my case, I use my condos as my home-based, what you call Zoom. When I do Zoom sessions, a studio. I call it a
So he
studio.
has an
office or
condo
studio.
just for an office.
Yes. Because
Condo just to do Zoom?
Yeah.
For Bilyonaryo.
Si Sir Eric yung may hyper-supply ng condos para sa sarili
I
niya.
wonder how many condos you own, Sir Eric. You don't have to answer that. I'm
I
just
have
very
several
curious.
properties as well. I'm
Yeah.
all fully paid.
Cash
And
flow, okay.
They're really cash flow. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk to you soon, Sir Eric,
yeah,
when
no.
I buy my first property here in the Philippines.
Yeah, but all joking aside, where can we find you online?
You can go to my website. It's www.ericmanalo.com. My YouTube for more free videos about real estate. It's Eric Manalo, and my Facebook, Eric Manalo.
Really appreciate that. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I know you like waking up early, so thank you very much for spending your favorite time of the day with us here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Eric.
It's great to have you. Thank you.